Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.
Well, spring is here and people are anxious to get out and start doing some gardening and landscaping. And if you're thinking about having a garden this spring, or maybe you're just interested in getting one going for the first time, there's always one step that I always recommend that people do, and that's to have a soil test done or have a soil test conducted. And so in a garden situation, it's not a hard thing to do. It's pretty simple, and I'll kind of go through the process of how to take a proper soil sample. But in an area like this garden, which isn't very big, it's only about 12 by 20, you just want to take random samples throughout that area. So usually with a garden, we're going to take samples about 6 to 8 inches deep. And I have a soil probe here, which we do have available at the extension office to check out if you'd like to borrow it. But if you don't want to use that, you can just simply use a trowel or a spade or a sharpshooter or whatever you have. But the goal is to get a nice even profile of that soil. So in a garden situation, you want to go about 6 to 8 inches deep, and then take your sample. And then after you get that sample, go ahead and just put it in a bucket. Now the soil's pretty dry. If it would be a little bit wet, or if you have really sticky clay soil, you can actually, if you're using a probe, you can actually spray it with WD-40. It's not going to affect the soil test at all. That's a trick that farmers will use when they're doing some soil sampling of fields and things, and you can certainly do that in your garden as well. But you'll go ahead and take a sample here. We'll pretend that we're going to take a sample here. And again, just dump it into the bucket. I'll just take my bucket with me here. And we'll just continue to take random samples throughout that entire garden. So you kind of get the idea there. Now after you get all of your samples, really the more the better, because the goal is just to get a good representation of your soil in that area that you're testing. You just want to go ahead and mix that all up, and then after you get all your samples mixed up, you want to take about a cup or a pint actually and put it into a little plastic baggie or Ziploc bag and take it into the extension office. From there we will send it to the K-State Soil Testing Lab, where they will test for things like pH, organic matter content, nitrate, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Now once those samples come back to the extension office, your extension agent, which in Ellis County is me, will take a look at those, analyze them a little bit more, and then send them back to you either via the email or via snail mail, either way. Once you have your soil sample test results back, you know, a lot of times I'll see organic matter being quite low. And so organic matter is something that is beneficial because it will help loosen up really heavy clay soils, or it'll help hold moisture in a sandier soil, which we don't have too many of those around here. But organic matter is key to having some of those looser, more plant-friendly soils. And so if you get the soil test results back and it shows low organic matter, spring is a good time to do it. Fall is really a better time to incorporate a lot of organic matter. So by organic matter, I'm talking about, you know, wood chips, mulch, but really in a garden situation, if you wanted to use peat moss or compost, those are really key organic matter elements to add to your soil. Usually when you have low organic matter, and we're talking we need to incorporate some compost or something, you'd want to put a nice inch or so layer on the top and then work that into the soil just to increase that organic matter. Now, the other thing about soil testing is that it's not recommended every year. It is something that we do recommend you do maybe every 3 to 5 years, just to see how that soil is improving, hopefully over time, and hopefully your garden improves in time too. If the soil sample results come back and they show that you have extremely high phosphorus and extremely high potassium, you know that you do not need to add any of those nutrients. So that can save you some money, it can save you time, and also save the potential water pollution hazard there as well. So you don't want to add more than you need. It's not necessary. And getting a soil test is a really easy and simple way to have some of that information before you get going with your garden this season. If you have questions, contact your local extension office for more information. Reporting for K-State Research and Extension and Eagle TV, I'm Holly Dickman, Ellis County Horticulture Extension Agent.
Don't miss the Green and Growing Show in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Eagle TV. Ellis County Horticulture Agent Holly Dickman will identify common lawn and garden issues while providing up-to-date information. Watch weekdays in the noon to 9 p.m. hours on Channel 14 or 614. Green and Growing, brought to you by Riedel's Garden Center, a full-service garden center west of Hayes on Highway 40, and Eagle TV.
With our current weather conditions, it takes a real expert to create landscape that'll thrive. Riedel's Garden Center has the staff with the expertise of water requirements for plants, lawns, and landscapes that'll stand up to our changing weather conditions. With 25 years of hands-on experience, owner Darren Riedel will customize a landscape design and irrigation system to meet your expectations and our climate. It's recommended to protect your lawn using Fertilome products available at Riedel's Garden Center, an authorized dealer. Call or stop by Riedel's Garden Center today.